Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving straight into why saving your first $10,000 is, hands down, the absolute most agonizing financial hurdle you're ever gonna face. And more importantly, we're looking at exactly how to accelerate past it. Because, let's be real, if you've ever felt totally stuck in the mud trying to build up your initial wealth, you are going to want to pay super close attention to the kinetic blueprint we've got for you today.
Warren Buffett's legendary business partner, Charlie Munger, famously claimed that the first $100,000 is a total grind. It's a quote that gets thrown around all the time. But listen, for most beginners, for folks starting completely from scratch, the true bottleneck, that spot where your forward velocity just totally stalls out, is actually way earlier than that. The hardest, most brutal milestone is actually your first $10,000. Going from literally $0 to $10K feels painfully slow because you're fighting against pure financial inertia. But here's the crazy part. Once you finally cross this line, zooming from 10,000 to 50,000 happens so much faster than you'd ever think.
So, what's actually going on here? Let's take a quick look at the brutal math problem behind this. Why on earth does this initial stage feel exactly like pushing a massive boulder up a steep cliff? Well, it all comes down to one really fundamental issue. It brilliantly illustrates the total lack of kinetic momentum when you're just starting out. Think about it. If you have $500,000 invested at an average 8% return, your money is generating $40,000 a year without you lifting a single finger. The portfolio is doing all the heavy lifting for you. But at the start, investing just $1,000 at that exact same 8%, that earns you a whopping $80 in an entire year. That barely buys you a decent dinner out, right? Because compound interest just won't help you yet, the market isn't going to pull you forward, every single inch of traction relies purely on the weight you can pull yourself. Literally, 100% of your progress right now depends entirely on your active savings rate. You are pulling the whole load all by yourself.
Now, the math is heavy enough on its own, right? But that feeds directly into the second big barrier, the psychological trap. This is what grinds your progress to a complete halt. Just plain old human behavior.
This brings us to what we call the friction phase. To save this initial cash, you have to aggressively break your current lifestyle baseline. You're saying no to social pressure. You're stopping those random impulse buys. But the intense friction happens because sacrificing your lifestyle yields absolutely zero instant gratification. You skip an awesome weekend trip to save $300, but then you look at your bank account and it only crawled from $2,000 to $2,300.
It doesn't really feel life-changing yet, does it? And honestly, this is exactly where most people throw in the towel. The trade-off feels incredibly heavy, and without any visible increase in your speed, it just feels totally unrewarding. You are burning so much energy, but the speedometer barely twitches.
But what happens when you actually push that boulder over the crest of the hill? When you finally cross that $10,000 tipping point? Well, everything changes.
You experience a massive momentum shift. The flywheel effect kicks in. That massive, heavy boulder you've been agonizingly pushing upwards, it instantly transforms into a rapidly spinning flywheel. You officially shift out of financial survival mode and launch straight into strategic movement. Your energy is finally compounding. Once you hit this mark, you gain two massive benefits that keep you moving forward. First, psychological safety. You've built a true emergency shield against unexpected debt, like, say, a sudden car repair or a sudden job change. Second, habit automation. The sheer discipline required to save that first 10 grand forces you to build new, high-value financial muscles. You're tracking cash flow, you're negotiating expenses, and because these habits are now deeply ingrained, repeating this whole process for your next 10,000 takes literally half the mental effort. The machine is finally working for you.
So, if you're trapped in that intense friction phase right now, here is your 3-step action plan. This is a kinetic blueprint to help you break through and reach that highly coveted flywheel stage.
We are going to rapidly accelerate your momentum. How? By automating your cash flow, shifting your focus to your earning potential, and setting a specific target date to create some real urgency. Let's break these down real quick. Step 1. Automate the gap. Set up an automatic transfer on payday that routes 15 to 20% of your paycheck directly into a high-yield savings account. And do this before you even see the money. This guarantees your forward movement happens automatically every single month, totally bypassing a reliance on willpower. Step 2. Focus on income. Look, you can only cut so many expenses before you hit a brick wall, so you've got to spin the flywheel faster from the other side. Your earning potential is completely uncapped. Dedicate just 5 hours a week to learning a monetizable tech skill, or maybe offering a freelance service. That extra energy injection will dramatically accelerate your timeline.
Step 3. Set a completion date. Please don't just tell yourself you'll save $10,000 eventually. Vague goals completely destroy traction. Use specific math to create real urgency. Tell yourself, hey, I need $833 a month to hit $10,000 in exactly 12 months. That specificity gives you a definitive finish line to sprint toward.
Because at the end of the day, hitting this milestone isn't just about the cash in the bank. It is about proving to yourself that you have built absolute financial control and setting your wealth-building flywheel into perpetual motion. Once you hit that 10K, the hardest part of the climb is permanently behind you.
So, now that you have the blueprint to generate that kinetic energy and blast right through the friction phase, I'm going to leave you with this question. What is your exact savings target and deadline for this year? Take a minute, calculate that number, set that date, and start pushing that boulder today. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. Now go build that momentum.